Well, Energy Minister Chris Bown, the global warming extremist who's trying to shut our coal-fired power stations, has been called out. Because let's not forget, with all this drama going on, we can't afford to forget it. At the end of all this, we're still going to face a terrible problem: how to keep on the lights, how to have enough electricity for our homes, for our offices, for our factories. Because the problem is the Albanese government's green revolution is running way behind time, way over budget, and yet it still refuses to lift its irrational ban on nuclear power, which has no emissions and is totally reliable. Chris Bown has said, oh, well, using nuclear is nuts because it's going to cost almost, what was the figure he plucked out of the air? $400 billion nearly. But now the Senior Vice President of Westinghouse, Rita Baranwal, has called him out. She says her company is making a 300 megawatt reactor, which costs less than $1.5 billion. And Bowen's figures are wrong, she said, but what does she know? She said, I only have 3 engineering degrees. Well, that math doesn't make sense to me. So who to believe? The executive with 3 engineering degrees or Chris Bown, climate fanatic, who now says, oh, well, you know, if they can deliver a nuclear power station for $1 billion US, throw in the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. I don't see that being realistic. Well, joining me is former Resources Minister Matt Canavan, the Nationals Senator, who's right on top of this topic. Matt Canavan, Chris Bown seems to me a dangerous man who just won't be told. Or, I don't know, is he right? Reactors like this may be too expensive, I don't know.
Well, Chris Bown is a zealot. He's an absolute obsessive zealot wanting to effectively push this country's energy system over the cliff. He has targeted this ridiculous 82% renewables when right now, today, more than 60% of our power comes from coal-fired power. So in just 7 years, he wants to completely revolutionise the way we make electricity. He has no real plans to do that. In fact, he sort of outlines he wants to build tens of thousands of solar panels a day, hundreds of wind turbines a month. I mean, how are we going to do this? He doesn't have any detailed answers here. Yet then he has the temerity to come up with these inflated numbers and accuse the other side of not having details. Our ban on nuclear power is long past its use-by date. It should be removed. But that's not going to fix everything, Andrew. We face a crisis this summer where speakers at a major energy summit today were warning for Australians to stock up on candles. And Chris Bowen's now saying it's all okay. We have acquired 120 megawatts in Victoria and South Australia of emergency power. You know what these emergency power sources are, Andrew? It's something called the Reliability and Emergency Reserve Trader Scheme. On the regulator's website, they say that what they're looking for this power is standby generation, including diesel generators. And so we're shutting down our coal-fired power stations and funding diesel generators, the dirtiest form of power, run on imported oil to keep the lights on. It is not worthy of a Hollywood script. It would be laughed at. It is so laughable that we are doing this to our nation.